Welcome to the Patrick Says So show, where transformation truly happens through real stories and cinematic videos. Stay tuned. Not all choices are made the same way. Some are considered, thought through, measured. Others are immediate, driven by how you feel in the moment. And while both are human, the city continues, people move, the world continues. No answer offered yet, only observation. And while both are human, the city continues, people move, the world continues. No answer offered yet, only observation. They do not produce the same outcomes. Emotions are powerful. They signal urgency. They demand response. But they are also temporary. What feels right now may not remain right later. And that is where many outcomes begin to diverge, because a choice made in the heat of the moment still carries its consequences into the cool of the days that follow. The emotion fades. The consequence remains. Day 4. Today we're talking about something almost everyone has experienced, but not everyone has named clearly. The difference between a choice driven by how you think will follow. In simple terms, emotional versus rational. And before we go any further, I want to be very clear about something. Both are human. Emotions are important signals. They tell us something matters. They get our attention. They push us to respond. The question is not whether the signal is important. When a feeling is strong, the instinct is usually to act on it. It feels real. It feels urgent. It feels honest. And honestly, that instinct makes sense. But here's the complication. Emotions are temporary. The anger, the excitement, the fear. What you feel in the moment may be gone within hours. That stays. The feeling is temporary. The consequence is not. The emotion fades. The consequence remains. And that gap between how long the feeling lasts and how long the consequence lasts is where most of the damage is done. The problem is not that we feel things. It's that we let the feeling make the decision. The feeling should inform the decision, not make it.
And today's episode shows exactly.
Now let us dive into the next segment. The moment of truth. You already know this before now. It is my favorite segment. Please stay tuned and get your pads ready. First truth. Emotions are temporary. Consequences persist. This is not about suppressing feelings. It's about holding two facts at the same time. I feel this strongly right now. And this choice will still be here long after this feeling is gone. Holding both at the same time, that's the discipline. Most people hold one or the other. Either they dismiss the feeling completely, which creates its own problem, because feelings carry information, or they follow the feeling completely and later discover that the information was urgent, but not accurate. That's an important distinction. A feeling can tell you something is wrong without telling you correctly what to do about it. That's where the rational piece comes in. Second truth. Rational thinking extends beyond the moment. A considered choice does not ignore feeling. It asks one additional question. What follows if I act on this? That question changes everything. Not the absence of emotion, the presence of the question. Rational does not mean cold. It means further sighted. You feel what you feel. And you also ask where this goes. Think about it. Most regretted decisions were made immediately. They weren't usually made after careful reflection. What you want to act on in anger can usually wait 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, the answer often changes. The pause is not avoidance. It is the actual work. It is where you refuse to let urgency become authority. It is where you move from reacting to deciding. And those two things are not the same. That difference changes everything. Let us move to the next segment. Cautions you should note. This is where I ask you to get your writing pads. Are you ready for this next segment? Stay tuned and please don't go anywhere. Patrick says wait. There are emotional traps that catch people, even people who know better. And if you don't recognize them, they'll quietly make decisions for you. First, don't make permanent decisions inside temporary emotions. The most consequential decisions are often made when we're emotionally activated, angry, hurt, excited, elated. Those are usually the moments when the quality of our decision is at its lowest. Think about it. When your feelings are running at full volume, your thinking is usually turned down. The feeling passes, but you're still living with what you decided. So identify your emotionally activated states and make yourself one rule. Permanent decisions do not come out of temporary emotions. Second, don't ignore the long-term impact. The short-term choice often genuinely feels better. The angry reply feels like relief, and it is in that moment. But ask yourself what it costs later. A damaged relationship, a professional consequence. Immediate relief can become long-term damage wearing a comfortable disguise. Third, don't assume that strong feelings mean correct decisions. This may be the most common emotional trap. Intensity feels like confirmation. We naturally think, if I feel this strongly, it must be right. And that's a very human assumption. But here's the distinction. Intensity only measures how activated you are. It does not measure the quality of what you're about to decide. Those are not the same thing. So remember this. Certainty is not clarity. You can feel absolutely certain and still be completely wrong. That is the caution. We have to the end of this segment. Next, we move to the arena where Mercy and I will summarize today's topic. Please stay glued and remain tuned to this. As always, Patrick says so. Cheers. Welcome, everyone. Patrick, what do you want people walking away with today?
The most useful question I know.
Not all choices are made the same way. Some are thoughtful, measured, considered.
Some are void of all that Patrick just mentioned.
Others are immediate, driven by how you feel in the moment. Both are human.
Yes, human.
But they do not produce the same outcomes. Emotions are powerful. They are real.
Real, almost tangible.
But they are temporary. What feels right now may not remain right later. That is where outcomes begin to diverge.
That is where consequences start rolling in.
Because the emotion fades, but the consequence remains. So before you act on what you feel,
pause and ask yourself some questions.
Ask one question. If I act on this feeling right now, what follows? Feelings pass, consequences stay.
And you have no control over that now. Yes, if I act on this feeling, what follows?
That question is the pause. Watch today's episode. There will be a moment where Tunde has a choice and the feeling is very loud. Ask that question for him, then ask it for yourself. The choices we make are immediate. Not all choices are made the same way. Some are considered, thought through, measured. Others are immediate. If people have something to say, they should say it to my face. They demand response. Emotions are powerful. They signal urgency. They demand response. But urgency is not instruction. Emotions are powerful. They signal urgency. If people have something to say, they should say it to my face. They demand response. But the question is not how do I feel right now? The better question is, if I act on this feeling, what follows?
Bro, sometimes you have to respond immediately. People mistake silence for weakness. But what if I make it worse? Worse? They already disrespected you. The worst thing is letting people think they can talk anyhow. Send the message. Let them know you're not soft.
Anger can tell you something is wrong. But anger should not always decide what happens next.
So I should just swallow it?
No. You should understand it. There is a difference between feeling something and obeying it.
It feels disrespectful.
Maybe it is. But if you respond from injury, your reply may become bigger than the issue. Feelings are immediate. Consequences are not.
The question is not, how do I feel right now? The better question is, if I act on this feeling, what follows? I can't avoid this anymore. I knew this would happen. Good. The emotion fades. The consequence remains.
Patrick, it's over. Don't call again. What have I done? This could have been handled professionally. Now it has become a disciplinary concern. This is a serious problem, Patrick. The emotion fades. The consequence remains. This is your last warning, Patrick. You knew this would happen.
What if the pause is the choice?
I heard there may be concerns about my section. I would rather address them directly and professionally. Can we discuss tomorrow? Can we discuss tomorrow? Control is not the absence of feeling. It is the space between feeling and response.
You responded?
Yes,
Emotionally?
honestly, but not emotionally.
That is growth.
Not victory, stability. The difference matters.
This is not about ignoring how you feel. It is about understanding that feelings and outcomes operate on different timelines. One is immediate, the other unfolds. So before you act on what you feel, ask what will follow.
I hope we all grab something from that episode. Decisions are very key.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching. Good night. Patrick says so.